If you've been looking for a reason to get back into World of Warcraft, now is definitely the time to do it. And it's all because of horrific visions. Let's get into it. All right, in this video, we're going to break down what horrific visions are. And if you want to get right to the details, go ahead and check out the time link down below. But before we jump into those details, let me explain to you why horrific visions are so incredibly fun. Back in Battle for Azeroth, the final patch that came out was the Corruption patch. And it was a time when our characters were so overpowered. Because of the things you could do with corruption, it really just broke the game. But part of that patch was the horrific visions. And it was really fun because the more corruption you put on your gear, the farther you were able to push on these events. And now they're back, and it is a ton of fun. So let me go ahead and break this down one little piece at a time and explain to you what horrific visions are and why they're so fun. So number one, what are horrific visions? These are events that have specific objectives that you have to meet, but they're timed depending on the level of sanity that you have. And every week we flip-flop going back from Orgrimmar to Stormwind and then back to Orgrimmar. It just keeps doing that. And if you want a little bit of backstory behind the whole thing, in as little words as possible, it's basically showing you what would have happened to these two cities had N'Zoth won. But when you're running these horrific visions, the goal is to beat all 4 bosses plus the main and final boss within the time that you're allotted, which is your sanity bar. Now, this event is being brought back to World of Warcraft as a catch-up mechanic. You're going to be able to get loot, different transmogs, and you'll be able to gear out your character or even your alts. Now, some of this gear is dropped from the bosses that you kill. Also, some of the gear is purchasable. And we're using a new currency called Displaced Corrupted Mementos. And you get this currency by completing quests, killing minions when you're inside of the horrific vision, and looting treasure when you're inside as well. And then you're able to spend this currency on vendors to buy new weapons, or you can use the currency to upgrade a new talent tree. And this is where we have to talk about the Hourglass of horrific visions. Now, the Hourglass is there to help you push farther into the event and stay in there longer. The first talent that you get is the Orb Operation Manual. And basically all that this does is when your sanity level gets low, you can activate this, which will create an area that you can stand under and replenish your sanity. And you get 3 of these per run. After this, we lead down into the 3 different tiers of the Hourglass. The first one is the Singular Sanitation Expertise Tree. And every tier that we activate is going to increase your damage done by 5% and decrease the damage that you receive by 5%. At tier 3, it's a maximum of 15%, but the downfall of this is that when you're in a party or you're running the vision with a friend, each ally that's next to you within 100 yards is going to decrease that buff by 1%. So at tier 3, you're getting a negative 3% back. And then the final talent in this tree is the Emergency Cranial Defibrillation. And basically what happens is that when you lose all sanity, you gain 500 sanity plus full life. This can only happen once per event. Now moving on to the second tree, which is the Steeled Mind Tree. This has 4 tiers, and in each tier, you slow down the rate of your sanity being lost by 10%. So at the final tier, you're reducing the sanity drain by 40%. And trust me, that is a huge, huge deal. The last tree is the Expansive Mind Tree. And this is based on people who want to run visions in a party, because each tier is going to increase the amount of sanity you have by 50. And that's not only for you, but that's for your entire party. The only thing I don't know is if this stacks. By that, I'm meaning if you're in a group of 3, then you would give 50 to the other 2 guys, and then they would give 1 back to you. So would you get 150 at tier 1? I don't know. But at tier 3, you're giving 150 to your party members. And then the last tier is Synchronized Mind Stabilizer. And basically what happens is that when one of your group members dies, you can revive them, but it will cost you sanity to do so. And this tier makes it so that your first revival doesn't cost any sanity. Once you've unlocked every single talent, you get the final one, which is the Gift of the Titans. And basically what happens is that whenever you randomly kill enemies inside of a vision, there's a chance that your haste and your movement speed gets increased by 60%. And you reduce all sanity loss from every single source by 100%, and this all lasts for 20 seconds. So make sure that you are using your Displaced Corrupted Mementos to upgrade the Hourglass. It's really, really important. Now, before you start a horrific vision, you go inside of a certain area as like a staging ground. Inside, you're going to see 4 different items, and they're labeled as tributes. And these tributes are a passive way to make you more powerful. The great thing is, there's no currency that you have to use in order to get these tributes to work. So for example, the tribute of the Vision Hunter, which grants you 1% movement speed and haste for 60 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. And as you can see here, there are 3 ranks. The way that you get this from rank 1 to rank 3 is simply by killing minions inside of the vision. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. The next one is the Tribute of Elite Extermination. And with this tribute, when you kill an elite boss, so not a main boss, but just an elite one, you get some of your sanity back to you. At rank 1, it's 50. At a rank 3, it's 150. And the way that you increase these ranks is by killing multiple elite bosses as you continue to do visions. The third tribute is the Tribute of Experimental Destabilization. And at rank 1, while your sanity is above 50%, your damage done is increased by 4%. And when your sanity drops below 50%, your damage taken is reduced by 4%. So at rank 3, it's 12% damage done and 12% damage reduced from incoming damage. And you increase the rank by killing main bosses within visions. Now the fourth tribute is the Tribute of Clear Sight. And at rank 1, you're able to loot treasure chests within certain areas of the vision. And as you loot these treasure chests, it opens it up and you're able to see treasure chests throughout the entire event. And that would be the 3 areas, which are tainted areas, corrupted, and also lost. And as far as buffs and getting you more powerful, there is one more thing. You can get a certain rune that you can put on your helmet, and those are purchasable after you've completed a couple of quests. And the quests are really self-explanatory. Just follow the quest line and you'll get them done. The one extra thing that can help you out while you're in a vision is using the aid from Soridormi, or Soridormi, or however you want to say the name. This is how it's spelled. But basically, Soridormi can be a tank, healer, or DPS. You get to choose. Or you can say, I really don't need your help, and do it solo. As you run horrific visions, you're going to get better and better at it, and your sanity levels are going to increase, which means you're able to stay in a lot longer. But what happens when you beat all 4 bosses and then the final boss? Well, sometime down the road, you're going to unlock a mask. And you're going to loot it from a chest after you're done running a vision, and it's going to unlock a quest. The next time you go into the staging ground, you're going to see these different pillars. And when you put the newly acquired mask next to the pillar that it's assigned to, you've now unlocked a harder difficulty for running visions. So if you ever heard in the past when people say, yeah, I 5-masked Ogrimmar, they're basically saying that they had all 5 masks in the past, and they used all 5 at the same time, making it the hardest difficulty. The great thing is that it's no longer 5. It's 8 masks. So the hardest difficulty is if you get all 8 masks and equip all of them at the same time and beat the entire vision. Pertaining to this event, that is beating the game. Now, in order to put a mask on, you go to the altar and you can say that you want to take off the mask or you want to put the mask on. And the mask is indicated by your debuff area. Each mask that you put on gives a 25% increase to enemy health, also to the damage that they deal, but you increase the amount of corrupted mementos that you gain by 20%. So if you run an 8-mask vision, you can expect to see a 200% increase in damage done by enemies, 200% to their health, and you'll get an increase of corrupted mementos by 140%. Now, to not spend so much time on the mask, I'm going to leave this image right here, and this shows what each mask does individually. So you can imagine the difficulty that you're dealing with when you have all 8 of them on. Apart from this, when you go into a vision and you go into a certain area, there is a certain madness or something that might happen. And I think that these can be discussed later on in a video when we do maybe a walkthrough of Stormwind and a walkthrough of Ogrimmar, because each vision has their own little twist. But for now, when you start doing visions, you'll understand what I mean. For example, when you're in Ogrimmar and you go into one of these areas, periodically you'll see a haze of purple around your screen, and then these shadow images of you will show up, and you're kind of forced to back out one way to get out of the circle. And if you run into them, you get stunned for a short period of time. It's little quirky things like that to make it a little bit more difficult. But the one thing I would tell you that's really, really important is to keep an eye out for potions. Potions will give you some sort of effect. All potions are good except for one. And the color of that bad potion always changes every single vision that you go into. And you're able to find out which potion is the bad one at the start of these visions. In Stormwind, you run over to the cathedral and you find Morgan Pestil's corpse. Next to it is a potion. Just hover over that potion and see what color it is. And now you know, don't drink that one. In Ogrimmar, there's an orc inside of a hut. That's the one you want to check out. Once you know which color the bad potion is, then you can use this chart to find out which color the good potion is that will increase your sanity. The other good potions are just little buffs that will give you like fire breathing and whatnot, but they're still good. So there's a lot more that we can go into about visions, like the best route to take and what to do when you're inside of them. But I think that would be better reserved for maybe a breakdown run through video of each of the visions. But I'm really, really excited that they brought back visions because it's such a chill thing to do. You can literally watch a movie and just run visions over and over and over. Anyways, if you made it this far and you thought this video was helpful, make sure to drop a like. like and subscribe to the channel. I'm getting back into making more content as I've done in the past, and I'm really, really excited about what's going on in World of Warcraft right now. If you've been away from the game for a while, I hope you guys jump back in and check out the Horrific Visions. They are a lot of fun, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.